Hi and welcome to the home of Melbourne Vernacular. I'm Leanne and this is Scott, and this is our home in Yarraville in the inner city Melbourne suburb.
So the house is called Melbourne Vernacular because the term vernacular responds to architecture or art that is really inspired by the conditions of a place, and we've been hugely inspired not just by Yarraville and this location here, but by different designers and organizations across Melbourne that are doing some amazing things in sustainability. So this morning we're going to take you through the home and introduce you to some of the features that we've used and how we've made decisions about designing a sustainable home. Come on through. Passive heating and cooling was a main design consideration, so much so that when we went to purchase the house, we knew that having a block that faced due north was really important. You can see here is one of our northern facing windows. About 80% of all the glazing in our house faces north. The majority of the rest is south facing, but in wintertime, and as you can sort of see here, even in autumn, we're starting to get that northern sunlight that sort of shines through. We've got a thermal mass of concrete and brick in our living room, so that northern light hits those thermal masses, heats up during the daytime, and then at nighttime releases that warmth into the house, reduces the need for active heating. Glazing is super important with a sustainable house. We've got double glazed, argon-filled, low-E glass units on all of these. There's lots of options out there, and a lot of it's sort of a personal choice as well. For us, we are weighing up cost, performance, and upkeep. We love the aesthetics of the timber, but for us, the reason we really went with the timber was the performance. So these red bricks here are sort of a special story for us because when we first purchased the house, the entire backyard was paved in these bricks. And so we pulled them up, cleaned them, and then have reused them for thermal mass. A question we do get often is about using them as a thermal mass, but then not bringing heat back into the house because this brick wall appears to flow all the way outside and does actually receive some western sun. It's actually three walls. So there's the wall here, there's a thermal break that goes all the way through here, and then a second thermal break here, which means that heat that hits the wall outside can't transfer into the room. Melbourne's got a long history with brick. Bricks have been made in and around Melbourne since the 19th century. They're a beautiful and a great building material. Unfortunately, for much of recent history, they've been used in sort of double brick homes that are actually very inefficient. Bricks hold a lot of heat, so what we've done here is what's called reverse brick veneer, where the brick goes on the inside of the house and you've got an insulated wall on the outside, and that means that the heat doesn't get in. But if used in the right locations like we have here in a north-facing room, in wintertime, the sun shines through and hits that brick as a thermal mass. It warms up, and then as the sun goes down in the evening and it cools off, the brick still retains that heat and can radiate it back into the house. You also see on the floor here polished concrete, which is another great heat sink or thermal mass that absorbs that winter sunlight. So we chose to do hydronic heating in the home. Firstly, our house is all electric, and we wanted to be able to use a heat pump form of energy. We use solar energy during the afternoon to heat hot water. Late at night, when we turn on our hydronic panels, runs through the house. They're low to the ground, so they heat the house from the floor up, which is where people actually experience the warmth. And we just loved the aesthetic that matched the traditional look of our Victorian cottage. This is sort of, I guess, the engine room of our sustainable home. So we've got our heat pump and our storage tank. So these run our heating and all of our domestic potable hot water. The reason we chose to go with a heat pump is that we wanted to be off of gas. We wanted to have a fully electric home that we could power as much as possible from our solar panels. We run the unit on a timer, and so each day it's running at a time when we're producing peak solar energy on the roof. That allows us to run basically without using any grid energy. There's a number of sustainability designs that were incorporated into the kitchen. So first and foremost, with efficient appliances, even the sizing of appliances was important for us. I guess the trend is these big fridges that, 2 doors, you can fit a million things in, but we found that actually just led to more food waste. We've got a really small fridge and freezer we'd never feel like it's full or packed, and it certainly stops us from wasting food. The countertops here, we used a product called Eco by Constantino. 75% of the materials in this is recycled. We're also a fully electric home, so we've used induction cooking instead of gas. It's a super efficient form of cooking because it heats up instantaneously. So there's no real waste of heat in that cooking, so water will boil in a matter of 20 seconds as opposed to waiting minutes burning gas. With our dishwasher, also our washing machine, those all run on timers and are set up so this will go off usually about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we're most likely to be producing the majority of our solar energy. These are Haiku made by Big Ass Fans. They're a smart fan, so these fans have the technology to know when you're in the room or leaving the room. They can turn on and off without you having to do so. They also can speak wirelessly to our thermostat. They know what the temperature is in the home and in the bedrooms and can adjust their speed. They know if we're moving into winter or into summer to reverse direction. So being water-wise is also really important with a sustainable home. Unfortunately, our small block, we weren't able to get more water storage, but we've got a bit over 2,000 liters here, and we use this for our laundry, all of our flushing toilets, and for irrigation around the property. We've also paired it up with a Reikio smart irrigation controller, which allows me to use my phone to control all the watering cycles. The Reikio is also smart, and it speaks to the weather stations. It knows when it's been raining or it's going to rain, and will cancel out any irrigation cycles that we're meant to run. Now, we've also got our compost bin here. This has been really huge for us. About once a year, that comes out and goes into our veggie patch, so that gets to be reused for growing more food. Yeah, I'm no master gardener, but we have a lot of fun with the veggie patch. It's certainly great with the little kids, and for us, we're able to produce in this, our backyard is certainly not large, able to produce a fair amount of food. We chose to, invest most of our money in solar panels versus, say, solar hot water. In Melbourne, the research shows that basically the more panels you can put on your roof, the better. So up here we've got 14 LG panels, about 4 kilowatts of solar. Even in sort of autumn right now, we're producing more solar energy than we actually use power during the day. That means that we're not having to import from the grid, which is awesome. In peak summer, we're producing sometimes 5 or 6 times more energy than we use. And which is pretty cool. That means that I'm exporting the energy. My neighbors are sort of using that. I always tell them that I'm powering their house, which is kind of cool. We chose to put, we've got 5 panels that face west, 3 more on the back there, and then we've got the 9 panels that face north. So of course you're going to always produce more energy with northern facing panels. So if you're lucky enough like us to have a big open sort of northern horizon, that's really great. Here in Melbourne, the sun will set out to the west, and so we can get home from work, crank on the AC or get dinner cooked, and we know that all that energy usage is coming straight from the panels. We've got a 200 square meter block here, which is very small, and we knew we wanted to have a family. We wanted to have green spaces, outdoor spaces, so we wanted to add some additional space up here on the roof. It actually holds a heap of stormwater as well, so when we have a big rain event, instead of that water hitting the roof, hitting our tank and then our tank overflowing going to the street, we actually can hold quite a bit of water in this roof, which is great. We've also planted exclusively plants that are native to this part of Melbourne, the Western Plains, the basalt plains of Melbourne. You'll notice also some highlight windows that we strategically placed. So again, we get that sort of that outlook to greenery and nature from a number of different rooms in our home. Indoor plants are a big focus for us. So we actually have some carnivorous plants in our house that eat mosquitoes and flies. But I guess for us, it's all about both giving the home a bit of a sort of a natural feel, but also using the plants for that sort of air purifying purpose. I think currently we have over 40 different plants throughout the small house.
And we hope that you enjoyed the tour of Melbourne Vernacular and that inspired you to think differently about the way we build homes. I suppose our philosophy is based on the idea of abundance through design, where we like to challenge the thought of sustainability, where it's not just about cutting back and compromise, and that a sustainable home is actually unparalleled than a traditional home in many ways. It can be comfortable, it can be light-filled, it can contain a lot of the luxuries which would otherwise be denoted non-sustainable. We have a spa that runs off solar panels, we have our wine fridge, but we also have the beautiful aesthetics of recyclable material, the warm and welcoming space of a living room. And yeah, we hope that this little tour has inspired you, has made you think differently, and we look forward to having you come visit us soon.